All righty. We got this working. We got everything up and running. Let's make sure we got everything up and running. Looks like we do. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I'll let you guys file all in. Thanks for being here on this Thanksgiving week, Tuesday Night Live. I know Thanksgiving is just a couple days away, so I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We have a bunch of topics to talk about today. We got some interesting updates about Nicolás Maduro and whether or not he'll be assassinated from inside his own country, but not by the United States and not by his own people even, but by a different country in the region. So we're going to break that down. We're going to get into the peace deal with Ukraine and Russia, which already seems like it has completely failed. We've got some interesting comments from Ilhan Omar that we're going to go over. We've got Sean Ryan blasting Delta Force leadership, which is something that I made a video about not that long ago, a couple months back. So we're going to get into that. So any questions you guys have, we want this to be fun, free rolling. We're doing this as a group. So fire away. I'll be taking questions throughout the show, and I look forward to answering. As always, if you're here, if you haven't already hit like on the video, please do. Make sure that you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell. All notifications turned on. Let's get the chat absolutely popping. We want to have fun tonight. We want everyone to feel like they're a part of it. And then if you guys didn't see, I did launch some membership stuff, 2 tiers. I kept them both super cheap, so everyone who wants to be involved can be involved. We're going to do members only live streams, members only comments. If you comment on a public video and you're a member, you're guaranteed to get a response. So we have a lot of fun stuff we're rolling out here. And I want to make clear as well, the Tuesday night lives, they are going to stay now. They'll be for everybody. The regular videos you get throughout the day, they will stay public for everybody. That is not changing. That is the bread and butter. That is the backbone of what we're doing here. So I'm really excited about that. We've been putting up some awesome numbers. You've been doing a great job, the audience. So any questions you got, send them in the chat. I'll answer them throughout the night. Any topic you want to discuss, send it in the chat. Super chats obviously get priority. But we've got a lot to talk about. And it is November 25th. And Nicolás Maduro was officially declared a leader of a foreign terrorist organization on November 24th. So that happened literally less than 24 hours ago. It went through officially with Marco Rubio, Donald Trump. And what does that mean? What does it mean that Nicolás Maduro is now officially a terrorist leader? Well, what do we do? Oh, thank you. We got Nathan Oliver just signed up as a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll get into some shout outs here shortly. Well, how do we treat terrorists? How do we treat people that look to harm the United States of America? Let's think about this. There's some big examples we can draw from the past. The biggest example is, of course, Osama bin Laden. How did we treat Osama bin Laden when he did not just 9/11, but previous attacks, all the stuff that came afterwards? We sent in roughly 24 SEAL Team 6 guys into Abbottabad, Pakistan. And how did that end for Osama bin Laden? Ended up with him getting shot. And speaking of which, I know there's a lot of debate out there about who shot Rob. Who shot bin Laden. We got a lawsuit, $25 million lawsuit against anti-hero and Brent Tucker. I'm really struggling not to laugh. You've got other stories. I've done my own reporting on it many times. If you guys want to talk about that, maybe we'll do a live about that at some point. But the point of this is, once you're deemed a terrorist by the United States government and you've engaged in terrorist activity, you are well within the rules of engagement for the United States of America to drop the hammer on you, to take you out, to get justice, to put an end to whatever evil actions you might be participating in. That's what a terrorist designation does. It opens the toolbox that the United States military and government can then reach into and execute whatever mission they want to execute. Whether that's SEAL Team 6 coming in with like Osama bin Laden, blasting them away. Whether it's like Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, and Delta Force comes in and puts an end to his evil reign in Syria. Whatever it might be, Those tools are now officially on the table, and Maduro is allowed to get crushed. Now, people will say, well, what is this really about? What is this? Is Maduro really that bad of a guy? Do we really need to kill this guy? Should we kill this guy? Should we arrest him? Should we put him on trial? What should we do? Does he deserve it? And here's what I would say to that. Any person, any foreigner who allows crime, drugs, violence, or anything negative that has negative consequences for the American people should be dealt with in the harshest way possible. What do I always say in my videos? Body bag or handcuffs. I don't really care which one you choose, but it's one or the other. I'm not so sure we should even let Maduro walk away. I know that Maduro has offered to just leave the country, but I'm not convinced that we should even allow him to step down. Why should he be allowed to escape justice? Why should Maduro, after running Tren de Aragua, one of the most violent, if not the most violent gang out there, come into this country, hurt our beautiful children, hurt our beautiful neighbors? Why should he be allowed to escape justice after drugs? And I understand Venezuela is not the biggest drug producing country. I understand that. I know that. Yeah, let me know in the chat what you think we should do to Maduro. What should his punishment be? Let's get active in the chat and let's let the viewers pick what we think should happen. But there's a broader piece of this. And it is a lot of our biggest enemies rely on Maduro. They rely on Maduro for resources, minerals, and they rely on Maduro for a foothold in our hemisphere, which cannot be allowed. China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba. Now, why do I bring up Cuba? Because Cuba and Venezuela share a very tight relationship. And for those of you who don't know, Cuba has actually a legitimately solid intelligence apparatus. It's the one thing Cuba actually does well. Their spy agencies are, believe it or not, very, very, very good. Not as good as ours, but very, very, very good. And Cuba essentially lives off free Venezuelan oil. They take the resources for Venezuela. They get the free oil. In exchange, Cuba protects Maduro. They give him intelligence. They give him military advisors. They help his regime. They help his regime stay in power. That's the fact of the matter. So that's why when this report that I'm going to put on the screen right now for you, let me get this up there. This comes from Axios. It says oil-rich Venezuela has long been an opponent of the U.S. and has helped prop up Cuba's dictatorship, which furnishes security that helped him install Maduro in 2013 and keep him in power. Venezuela is also an ally of Iran, China, and Russia. Part of the challenge of persuading, this is key, part of the challenge of persuading Maduro to leave, U.S. officials say, is that his Cuban handlers might execute him if he yields to American pressure and quits. So now what they're reporting is because if Venezuela falls and their oil and their resources can no longer prop up the Cuban regime, the Cuban dictatorship, they are going to fall next. And they know it. That's just what the domino effect is. Without Venezuelan resources and Venezuelan oil, Cuba knows they are gone. They are gone. So what Cuba is now doing is saying to Maduro, if you leave, if you try to step down from power and allow a pro-Western government to come in here, a pro-American government, we will kill you. We will execute you ourselves. You're going to stay in power. You're going to keep giving us everything we want. And if you leave, we will just kill you. We will execute you ourselves, like I said, which puts Maduro in quite the pickle because he's staring down the power of the U.S. military, and he knows he can't win that fight. He knows that it'll get absolutely obliterated if and when the United States decides to strike. And at the same time, the Cubans who have kept him in power, propped up his regime, made sure that the oil keeps flowing to them, are saying, if you leave, you're a dead man. If you leave, you are going to get wiped out by us. So what do you do in that situation? What do you do in that situation if you're Nicolás Maduro and you die if you stay, and you die if you stay and the U.S. invades? There is no good option for Maduro in that situation. So on top of that, I want to show you guys this quick, because now Cuba is trying to get more involved. It says Cuba on Tuesday accused the U.S. of seeking a violent overthrow of the Venezuelan government, calling the increased pressure of U.S. military forces in the region exaggerated and aggressive threat. The U.S. overthrowing Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro's government would be extremely dangerous and irresponsible, and would be a violation of international law and the United Nations Charter, Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez said in a statement. So the Cubans are now directly attempting to get more and more and more and more involved, because they see their fate tied to Maduro's. They see, and get your questions ready. I'll take some questions soon about this. They see their fate hand in hand. If Maduro goes down, Cuba goes down. So the Cuban regime is also fighting for its survival, because if all that oil disappears, they're out. They're out. And they know it. And for the people who are like, this is all about oil, this is all about resources, that's not 100% untrue. We don't want our enemies to have access to a ton of resources. We don't want Russia, China, Iran, Cuba, who's also in our hemisphere, to have access to unlimited oil. We're on the brink within the next 2 to 5 years of a conflict with China. I just made a video about this the other day. You can find it on the channel. We're on the brink of a conflict with China. Do we want China to be stockpiling oil reserves right now? No. That'd be the dumbest thing ever from a America first, America only, pro-America, MAGA, whatever you want to call it. Allowing our enemies to stockpile resources is a strategic mistake. Why would we ever do that? Why would we ever do that? So yeah, it is about oil in part. It's not just about oil. We also don't want the Russians, the Chinese, and the Iranians to have any influence in our hemisphere. None. Zero. We don't want it. Why don't we want it? Because this is our hemisphere. We control it. Monroe Doctrine. It's our home. We're the superpower. We don't let other countries tell us what we're going to do. We tell them what we're going to do. And then they can either comply with that or not. Hold on. We've got some idiots in the chat. Hold on. We got, oops. I think I hit the wrong guy. That's a mistake on my part. All right. Let's take some questions. I want to give a shout out here to Jeffrey Smile 324, became a member on the channel. Thank you very much. It's all appreciated. We've got Nathan Oliver, F2T. Thank you very much for becoming a member on the channel. What do we got here? There's no Second Amendment in Venezuela. The people do not have access to guns. We have tried many times and end up in a meat grinder of innocent civilians. 100%. 100%. Dictators don't like their people being armed, because then the overthrow of the dictatorship becomes a real possibility. So JRC 6914, yeah, that's exactly right. Dictators don't like people having guns. In America, we have the Second Amendment. We have the ability to defend ourselves. We have the ability to make sure that we're not steamrolled. And it doesn't work like that everywhere in the world. It just doesn't work that way. So Jason Goodman says, I thought the show of force was a threat. No, this is very real. You don't move aircraft carriers across the world. You don't put stealth fighters on alert. You don't deploy the ghost ship. Speaking of which, the location of the ghost ship is now out there. We will talk about that shortly. This is not just a threat. Now, we might be able to pull this off. His own people might take him out without us having to do it. If there is an uprising or a general who is aligned with us wants the $50 million bounty, they might take him out. But this is not a show of force at all. This is very real. John Barlow, this is all about China, period, point blank. It is certainly in large part about China. China cannot be allowed to be in a position to influence our hemisphere. They cannot be in a position to get Venezuelan oil. Again, they're going to make a move on Taiwan. And when they make a move on Taiwan, we damn sure better be ready for whatever is coming next. So, quite frankly, yes, there is some truth to that. Give me 1 second. We got a super chat here. Would you have Hugh Keir, decorated UK sniper paratrooper, on your show? Multiple tours. Siege of Musakala, voted one of the greatest battles in UK history. Taliban were bribed $1 million to stop. I did not. I did. Hold on. We've got a situation developing here. Hold on. We've got something that we've got going on here. I'm trying to figure it out. Stay with me. All right. Sorry, we just had something pop up. I'd be open to having him on for sure. Just so you guys know, I do get information as the show goes on. So sometimes I see it come across my screen or my phone goes off and I got to address it real quick. All right. What else we got? What else we got here? We've got. Wait, what? Yeah, guys, I don't believe this at all. I don't think. Let's not give them more credit than I'm going to need to see overwhelming proof. You're going to have to, if you claim this, what's on the screen, I'm going to need to see overwhelming proof. Overwhelming proof. That claim has been made many times. No actual, real, credible proof has ever been provided that Venezuela did that. So no, I don't believe that. I'm willing to believe anything as long as you've got proof, but I don't believe that. David Hookstead, I love your content. You're a legend in Venezuela. How much longer do you think it will be until Trump frees my people? It could be days. It could be weeks. Honestly, it could be months. I think Trump, in his best case scenario, is hoping that Maduro can be overthrown or toppled without having to go in and start a massive war. Not that the war would be massive. It'd probably be over rather quickly, but they're going to try to exhaust every option to make sure that a shooting war is what only happens after everything else has been tried. So Trump and Maduro are going to have a talk. In fact, that's actually a good segue. They're apparently going to get on the phone. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. Now, what is going to be said in that phone call? Your guess is as good as mine, but let me throw this up here for you. Let me throw this up on the screen. I got it ready to go. All right. So this comes from CBS News. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro indicated Monday that he's open to direct talks with Trump administration, calling for diplomacy instead of confrontation, as the U.S. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier joined almost a dozen other American ships off the country's shore. The administration accused Maduro of facilitating drug trafficking into the United States, but the Venezuelan leader says the U.S. is trying to overthrow him. Those who want to speak with Venezuela will speak face to face. And then I think in here it does talk about Maduro's I'll highlight that. Maduro's comments come hours after President Trump said he'd be willing to talk with the Venezuelan leader while not ruling out deploying U.S. troops on, we got an ad, while not ruling out putting troops on the ground. So Maduro and Trump both are saying that they might want to talk to each other. And I think they probably will. And I can tell you how that call is going to go. President Trump's going to say, your options are to step down. Your options are to get the hell out, give up power, fucking flee, excuse my language, and then maybe we'll let you live. But then at that point, the Cubans might kill him. See, this is what happens when you're a bad guy. When you're a bad guy, you eventually back yourself into a corner with no good options. And with no good options, what happens? You get crushed eventually. So they might talk. I'm sure they will. I'm sure Trump will make his views crystal clear to Maduro. I'm sure he will tell Maduro, your options are step down and you might live. Of course, then the Cubans will probably kill you. Or stay where you are and we will drop a bunker buster on your head. All right, I'm going to pull this off the screen. Do you think we will take him alive? And if someone else doesn't take him out first, and thank you for all you do for this country, keeping us all updated and informed of all things around the world. Thank you very much for the nice compliment. That means a lot. I hope we can take him alive. I would love to watch Maduro get marched into a courtroom. People forget, Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker. He's been indicted. Okay. He is facing the wrath of the U.S. legal system. We have him indicted in court, facing a life in prison sentence. Hauling him in, just like we did with Noriega in Panama, would be amazing. It would be cinema. It would be great to watch. And then we can throw his ass in some high maximum security prison where he can spend the rest of his days for messing with this country. But if Delta Force or SEAL Team 6 go in and smash him hard and smash whatever compound he's in and take him out and eliminate the threat forever, you don't just eliminate the threat forever. You send the message to other people around the world who want to mess with this country. This is your fate. All right, we've got Jeff Hunter for $2. What branch did you serve in? Guys, I talk about this all the time. I've talked about this more times than I could possibly count. I was never in the military. I've made that crystal clear. I don't pretend to have ever been in the military. Wasn't really interested in ever joining the military. I just became fascinated with global events, military history, geopolitics, things of that nature. So let's get some more questions from you guys. Make sure I didn't miss anything too important here. Yeah, so Kevin says prison is actually his best. I assume you meant option now. Prison is his best option. Prison is the only way he's probably guaranteed to stay alive. That's if he wants to stay alive, if the goal is staying alive, prison is literally the best option he has. Because it's either we're going to bomb him and that's going to end that, or he's going to try to flee and then the Cubans will kill him. So, yeah, good luck to him. He's going to need it. Okay, Samuel DeMarco, 8178. Trump gave very similar comments on talk right before Midnight Hammer. Keep in mind, markets closed on Thanksgiving and will close early on Friday. Samuel, my group texts have been saying this exact same thing. Before we bombed Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer, there was all these talks of conversations. And then out of nowhere, the 60-day deadline passes, and right on cue, B-2 stealth bombers, F-35s, F-22s, I even believe some F-18s, armed with, It's surface suppression of enemy air defenses, SEAD, systems and tools, went in and wiped out 2 different facilities in Iran, with the fighter jets cleaning up all the air defenses on the ground first, making sure the bombers could get in there and do their job. And keep in mind, Venezuela's air defenses are a joke compared to what Iran had. Iran had highly advanced Russian and Chinese produced, including the S-400, which is the most highly advanced missile system, surface-to-air system that the Russians produce. And it didn't matter. And I know people say, well, Israel destroyed a lot of their air defenses. There's certainly some truth to that. No question about it. But at the nuke sites, those defense systems were active and live, and it made no difference. All right. So the Salish German, you see they halted pay to Russian troops amid the war machine overheating, 35% down in exports, regional financing scrambling, warning they can't cover without emergency funds from the feds. I did not see that, but we are going to talk about Russia here shortly. So let's hang on to that. Russia their oil infrastructure has been hammered, which is why they actually have troops in Venezuela right now. They have about 120 soldiers in Venezuela trying to help the Maduro regime, because they got plenty of their own problems. All right, let's see what we got. We've got a lot here. I'm going to try to get to as many. Okay, this is a good question. Guys, we've got a ton of stuff coming in. I'm going to try to stick to the super chats, but I want to include everyone as well. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't be included, but I'm not going to be able to get to all these. The only ones I can guarantee I get to are the super chats. We've got thousands of comments coming in. It says, Gary Balster, Dave, what are the, I don't know why we got the asterisks, but what you see as best and worst case scenarios. Best case scenario is his own people overthrown. Generals that are friendly to the West take the $50 million bounty. They take him out, hand power over to someone who is not going to be a problem for the U.S., who's not going to give a launching base to our enemies, who's not going to let the Russians, Chinese, and Iranians and Cubans have influence there. That way we don't have to put any of our people at risk. We don't have to bomb them. It's the threat of it is enough to get rid of them. Worst case scenario is this turns into a massive bombing campaign. Troops got to get in on the ground. They got to clean up on the ground. There's urban fighting. People are like, it could be Iraq 2.0. It could be Vietnam 2.0. It'll be nothing like those two things. It'll be nothing like Iraq. It'll be nothing like Vietnam. The North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong were well armed, well trained, and they had the backing of two different superpowers. Iraq, while not nearly as well armed and well trained, and definitely not backed by any superpowers in 2003 or the first time we fought them, they still had a large military, air defense capabilities, things of that nature. So that's the worst case scenario is really we get into a situation where boots on the ground or he's able to slip away. If he's able to slip away, that would not be good. Rob Stoops, $5. Can you imagine if they took him out with one missile and that was all that was fired? Like one cruise missile, that would be epic. That would be absolutely epic. That would be the best case scenario. If we only had to fire one missile, I don't know if a cruise missile can bust through a deep underground bunker. You might need a GBU-57. Those are the 30,000 pound ones that we gave a little taste of freedom to with Iran. I don't know if you can do it with a cruise missile. Oh, that's a funny screen name. I don't think I can read that. Is 7th Group SF in Colombia getting spun up for Venezuela? Will Colombia support the U.S.? Well, Petro Gustav, or whatever that moron's name is, the leader of Colombia, is an absolute complete dumbass. And he hates Trump. He threatened to take Trump out. He threatened to go after Trump. So I don't think he would. But I'll tell you this. I don't care who the president is. If you threaten the president of the United States, you should be dealt with in the harshest way possible. End of story. End of story. If you threaten the president of the United States, that's our leader. That's the leader of the free world. That's the leader of the United States of America. I don't care if it's Trump, Biden, Trump in his first term, Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, go on down the list. You threaten the United States leader and you should be steamrolled immediately. Because when you threaten the leader of the United States, you're threatening the United States as a whole. So that idiot running Colombia is an absolute piece of trash human. And people might not like it if I talk that boldly, that bluntly, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. That's who he is. Oh geez, easy now. Can we see your war medals? I just said I was never in the military. I do have my family members who was killed in war. I've had 3 family members killed in war, and one was highly decorated. Well, actually, all 3 of them were highly decorated. One had the Silver Star, but I've got my my great uncle's Distinguished Flying Crosses. He had a couple of them, his air medals. They're actually in a safe not far from where you can see right now. So I was never in the military. You already know that. Don't be a dumbass. But I do have great respect. All right. He will not be killed. He will go to Russia or China, just like they lied about Hitler dying when he ended up fleeing to Argentina and living to be very old. I've always been fascinated by the idea that Hitler made it out of the bunker alive. I don't think I'm very willing to believe the body the Soviets took was not Hitler's. I think that's probably true. Mark Felton, who's a great World War II historian, has a whole series on it. And pretty much the conclusion he comes to is Hitler did die in the bunker, but that was not his body that was taken out. I can't explain the whole thing here. Mark Felton, look it up on YouTube. What happened to Hitler's body? Great thing. But see, we talked about this. If he tries to flee to Russia or China, then the Cubans are going to kill him. He's got 2 paths. Getting captured alive by the U.S. is literally the best case scenario for him if he wants to keep his life. If Maduro wants to stay alive, being captured by the United States of America is really the only option where he lives and sees this out with his life. Because again, if he steps down voluntarily, as we showed you on the screen, the Cubans are going to ice him. If he doesn't step down, we got to go in. He's either getting a bomb dropped on him or he is going to get smoked by force on the ground. Please, America, get rid of the dictator Maduro. He's evil. Watch him from Trinidad. I've had guys, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. My DMs are wide open. I have had so many people reach out from Trinidad, from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Curacao, from Aruba, a variety of different places in the region. You guys have been amazing. I've never been to Trinidad and Tobago. I would go in a heartbeat. You guys seem like really cool, really nice people. Also, so you guys can all notice the big shiner on my eye. For those of you who didn't know, I took a nasty spill and smoked my face on the hardwood floor. So I've been dealing with some concussion-like symptoms for about it happened on last Thursday. So if you didn't see, that is why my face has that. I wish I could tell you it was a cool story, but we're saying gave up 23, needs to be kicked off your channel. What is he doing? Let me know. I see him. Got him. He's gone. He is gone forever. You don't do that. You don't do that here. You don't come in here with those types of comments. All right, let's get to some more updates about Venezuela. So for those of you who didn't see this was today. Oops, didn't mean to do that. This was today. Make sure I got the right one teed up for you here. Yep, this was today. I'm going to put this back up on the screen. All right. So again, yesterday on November 24th, we flew a B-52 bomber. I'll show you that in a second here. We flew a B-52 bomber down to Venezuela. Ton of fighter jets were with it. Ton of other planes were with it. We had early warning. We had recon planes. We had all this stuff. And then the very next day, today, November 25th, we get rocking and rolling. And what you're looking at the screen right there is a pair of F-18s that kept buzzing the Venezuelan coast. I believe a total of 4 might have been up today, and they were just flying in a holding pattern. And then here was yesterday. Let me put this up on the screen. So this was yesterday. All those little red planes, that is where the bombers and the fighter jets were based at. So what you see on your screen here is the bombers and the location of the planes that flew down there. So right here, I wish I could zoom in. Let me see if I can do this for you guys. Give me a second, because I want to show you how close. That was. So I'm going to zoom this in, if it lets me, so that you guys can get a good look. Let me pull this down real quick. Give me a second. All right. So that's zoomed in a little bit more. Do you guys see how close they are to the Venezuela coast there? I mean, they are literally hundreds of yards, maybe at most a mile or two off the Venezuelan coast. This is bombers, fighter jets, early warning aircraft. This is everything they need. And the thing that you guys might not know is F-18s, well, a bunch of fighter jets can do it, but F-18s have SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses. They can scramble and block enemy air defenses. That is one of the coolest things about them. So if you're going to go in with a bombing run, you're going to want to either wipe out their air defenses ahead of time, which you'd probably do as well with cruise missiles. And then you'd have fighter jets that come in and kill their radar, kill their air defense systems. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can actually make the air defense system look like there's 100,000 planes on the screen, so you wouldn't know what to target. Or you can jam it so it can't pick up signals. I'm not an expert on this. This is how it's been explained to me. So what you see here is we are going to continue to fly these missions And then one of these days, it could be the day the mission is real. So someone said, like they did in Iran. That's exactly what they did. They used, I got to reposition myself. They used SAD, suppression of enemy air defenses, to go out and crush the Iranian air defense systems. And then the bombs started falling. And we all know how that worked. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat here. Yep, this is true. This is a great point. Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane is in Trinidad and Tobago to have discussions with the Prime Minister. That is true. So he is the most important, second most important military official in the country, behind only the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. We've got some people in the comments right now. Guys, keep sending your questions. I love taking questions. It keeps everyone involved. We've got some people in the comments being pretty dumb. If you guys think I won't bust out the sniper finger to ban you, you don't know me that well, and you clearly haven't been watching. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, here we go. Look at how mad the foreign trolls are. Yeah, exactly. They don't like hearing the truth. They don't like hearing that America will kick your ass if we want to, because that's what we are. We're the most dominant power in the history of the world. And if you don't like that, quite frankly, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you think another country's military is better than ours, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear what military on the face of the planet is better than ours. Let me know. All right. I just saw a cool comment. So they're saying the Venezuelans would never conduct an air raid against the U.S. carrier group in broad daylight, even flying just above the water with their radars off. This is a common misconception. Let me go ahead and stop this right now. The idea that fighter jets can fly just below the water or just above the water and beat the defenses of an American carrier strike group and the escorts that come with it and the early warning planes we have in the sky at all times around it is pure fiction. 100% pure fiction. Not going to happen. Not especially Su-30s, Su-30s, early 1990s F-16s. No. And if they hit an American ship, they would get absolutely obliterated. Obliterated. Yep. We were just talking about this. Cuban agents are in Venezuela. They want to kill Maduro if he quits. Yep. We opened the show with that. That's 100% true. And that's why Maduro has no real good options. The only option Maduro has where he lives is if we capture him alive. Might be hard for him to hear, but it's true. Oh, this is a great one. This is a great one. A moment of silence, if you will. For those of you who don't know, let's take 5 moments. We'll do a moment of silence at the end. It says, please remember today, 24 years ago, Mike Spann of the CIA was killed at the Kali Janghi prison by Al-Qaeda Taliban prisoners. Uprising in Afghanistan where British SBS ST-6 Stephen Bass responded. That is true. I'm going to put him up on the screen. They say you die 2 deaths. You die a death when you physically die, and you die when nobody ever says your name again. So we will not allow him to be forgotten. I'm going to put him on the screen right now for y'all. That is Mike Spann, the first casualty of the war on terror in Afghanistan, a CIA operative who was killed when Al-Qaeda prisoners rose up in a riot in a prison and took the life of this American patriot and hero. So let's take a couple seconds and just think about Mike Spann and his family. As long as we keep their names alive, and I'm serious about this, this actually is very important to me. As long as we keep every person we lost, we say their name, we remember their name, we keep it alive, the memory will always then be alive. Even if their body and their soul and their spirit is no longer alive, we will always keep their memories alive. That man was a hero, and he deserves to be remembered. Venezuela's military is the best. Yeah, okay. You want to let me pull this up. You think Venezuela's military is the best? Check this out. Check this out. Let's go ahead and see what the Venezuelan military is working with these days. After all, you said it's the best. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Let me put this on the screen. All right. The Venezuelan military. 3 F-16s, 21 Sukhoi Su-30s. So a total of 24 at most fighter jets against the United States of America with the F-22, B-2, B-21, B-1, B-52, Tier 1 operators, the strongest military the world has ever seen, the United States Navy, the United States Marines, the United States Army, Space Force. Have I made my point clear? Have I made my point clear at the idea that Venezuela's military is better than ours? I assume that was a joke. All right, let's get to some more comments. Oh, this is great. I'm curious what Russia brought them when they flew their cargo planes there. So we kind of actually know. The Russian government actually went on record and said that, and they brought them this. We think they brought them air defense systems. We think, unless the Russians are lying, which of course is very possible, we think they brought more Buk air defense systems, which are these things right here. They think that this could have been what the Russians brought them in the cargo planes. But this stuff is 40 plus years old, 45 years old. So they're going to trot out 45-year-old air defenses against stealth fighters and stealth bombers. I don't think that's going to go. I don't think that's going to go well for them. All right, what do we got here, guys? Trying to get to the. All right, guys, we got some people who are out of control in the comments. S-300s. I do believe, Venezuela, I do believe they do have the S-300. But so did Iran. Okay, here we go. So yes, it looks like Venezuela does. Yeah, they've had it for a long time, actually. I'm going to pull this up. I'll highlight this, put this on the screen for you. Let me throw this up here. Yes. So right here in 2012, they bought a couple S-300s, which is a very advanced Russian defense system, but not nearly advanced enough because the Iranians had much better air defense, and that didn't save them. They bought, I guess, for $1 billion. So this is an S-300. That's what it looks like. It is the second most advanced Russian air defense system. So that's what we think they brought them. Samuel DeMarco says Maduro is flashing the Buk air defense system from 1972 and the S-300 from 1978. Bottom line, no contest. Agreed, 100%. Again, we just saw this happen. We just saw this happen in Iran, where Iran had the S-400, an even more advanced system, and it got obliterated by our highly, highly advanced stealth bombers. So very well said, Samuel. You are 1,000% correct. We've got, let me see what we got here. We've got a couple things. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what we got for the latest comments. Here we go. Tom Brady's New England Patriots versus Little House on the Prairie High School. Good luck, Venezuela. Absolutely. We've got Mississippi watching. I love the good people of Mississippi. I got a buddy who's from Mississippi, legitimately one of the nicest guys on the face of the earth. I've been to Oxford, Mississippi one time and had a great time. Crazy situation unfolded when I was down there. Not something I can really talk about publicly due to the people we were with and the actions and events that unfolded. All right, I'm sniping this guy. You want me to snipe this guy? He's gone. He is gone. And he's never coming back. All right. We've got, I don't know what that means. Is his face Batman? If Ukraine-Russia peace deal happens, does Russia start to arm Venezuela just like we did Ukraine? Very possible they could. We just talked about it. They're bringing in air defense systems. So that's actually a good segue. They could. I don't know. Russia's going to be hesitant to give Venezuela offensive weapons that could be used to strike offensively against our ships or the mainland, which Venezuela has asked for. They want long-range missiles that Russia could provide, but if Russia did that, they would be in a world of hurt. When will drone tech from Ukraine enter this conflict? Will that tech work in Venezuela or too jungle dense? Well, it's probably, we will have Predator drones carrying out strikes. I assume you're talking about the little drones. I don't know when it would enter the conflict. I don't know when you would see that happen. I'm not an expert on Venezuelan drone defenses, so I can't say for sure what that would be. But the truth of the matter is it's not going to matter because we're probably not going to need to put troops on the ground. All right, I'm going to take a few more of these, then we'll keep stuff going because we've got more to talk about with Venezuela. Here we go. So this guy's from Venezuela. He says, do not speak on behalf of us Venezuelans. We want freedom, liberty, and the commies gone. I like it. I like it. What do you think will happen to Aruba and Curacao if the war starts? Well, we won't be launching strikes from Aruba and Curacao. I can't see Venezuela striking countries that are not involved. People that could be in danger would be Trinidad and Tobago, which is why we have our military there now to protect them in case the situation does pop off in a huge, huge way. Hoosier Trucker, $9.99. Thank you very much. The S-300 is about as good as having people in watchtowers with binoculars to scan the sky. LOL. Yeah, at this point against our stealth technology, that's 100% true. People do not understand how much more advanced American stealth technology is in the rest of the world. Now, China has figured out how to build a stealth fighter. Russia's figured out how to kind of build a stealth fighter. The Su-57 is a bit of a joke in the stealth fighter world. Neither's figured out how to build a stealth bomber. We have two different kinds of stealth bombers, multiple different kinds of stuff, two different in service. We've had previous ones like the F-117. We've got, although is that technically a bomber? I don't even know. And we've got the F-22 and F-35. They haven't been able to replicate that technology at any point. All right. Beard looks great. Thank you very much. Proud of it. Got to distract from the bruise on the face. Are you calling me a CIA rat? I will address this because people have floated this. People have floated this before. The fact of the matter is I've never worked for the CIA. I don't talk with the CIA. I know people like to put this out there. It's complete BS. I've never, ever, ever, ever done anything with the CIA. End of story. It's not true. And if I was part of the CIA, do you really think they'd let me get out here and talk like this and do whatever I want? So that seems like, hold on. Well, this is a little bit of a, so he's asking, what about the Axios report saying that Trump will not attack and talk to Maduro instead? That's not what that report really said. He said they're going to talk first and then no options will be removed from the table. He's going to deliver a very direct message to Maduro. That message, as I've said before, I'm fairly certain is going to be something of this nature, which is if you don't leave, we'll just kill you. And of course, now we know with the Cubans, if he does leave, they're going to kill him anyways. So this is, again, you play nasty, dirty games. You get aligned with nasty, dirty people. This is what happens. All right. So we've got some more stuff on Venezuela. The ghost ship. Now, I'm not going to put this on the screen. I'm going to be smart about this because I don't want to give too much away. Give me 1 second. The ghost ship. Do we all know what the ghost ship is? So I'm going to pull this up, put this on the screen. This right here is the ghost ship. The ghost ship is a JSOC ship. Yeah, for everyone saying I'm CIA, do you think the CIA would love it if I was out here being like, oh, here's the inner workings of JSOC. Here's the inner workings of the ghost ship. This is what this ship can do. Yeah, I'm sure the CIA would absolutely be thrilled with that. Come on. Some of you need to reality check a little bit. So what is the ghost ship? The ghost ship, I can tell you without giving away its position, is within a surprisingly close distance to Venezuela, is my understanding from what has been put out there. Now, this has been put out there publicly, but before more people do it, I just want to be careful. This ship can carry up to 160 tier 1 operators that can go in and strike covertly with helicopters, boats, smash the target, disappear into the night. No one will ever know they were there. We're talking Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, probably CIA Special Activities Division. This ship technically does not even exist. It is disguised as a cargo ship. It has no official U.S. markings. So it is a fascinating ship. And it is now well within striking distance of Venezuela. I don't want to give away where it is because I don't know if strikes are being carried out as we speak. And they could be, because remember, Trump has authorized CIA action inside Venezuela. And what does that mean? We've had some mysterious explosions in Venezuela, right? We've had some mysterious things go up in flames. An oil refinery got blown up. We don't really know why. I'm not saying it was the CIA. Don't know what it was. I have no clue. Here we go. This is a good one. Don't let him fool you. He's the CIA. He's the CEO of the CIA. That's actually really funny. Not true, but funny. All right, guys. Russians train Venezuela in advanced drone warfare. That is true. Keep your questions coming in. I love you guys are making this so much fun for me. Keep your questions rolling in. That is true. The Russians do train the Venezuelans in drone technology, but I'm not convinced that's going to be a big factor if we're launching cruise missiles from 400 miles away, or if we have bombers 30,000 feet in the air. So again, it's hard to say what for sure is going to be happening. All righty. So guys, remember, if the chat gets too out of control, I can switch it, and then only subscribers can do it. Only members only. Guys, please, good point. Remind everyone, please like and subscribe. Comment. Hit the notifications bell, all notifications on. I did launch 2 different membership tiers. If you are in a membership tier and I decide to restrict the comments on a live stream because they're getting too out of control, you are allowed to comment at all times. At all times, you are able to comment. We've got more idiots. You're just going to keep getting banned. All right. So we've got Roofer Terry. Russia's falling to Ukraine because of drone warfare. Venezuela will be the same, and China eventually. We better get on the game with drone warfare. I'm going to pull this off the screen. Guys, we've got good drone warfare. It's actually not something the United States talks about, but we've got significant drone warfare capabilities. That's a fact. We don't really like to broadcast it, but you know what else we have that Palmer Luckey is working on? We've got unmanned fighter jets that are capable of doing what fighter jets are, but without needing a pilot to do them. That is a game changer, folks. That is an absolute game changer to have unmanned fighter jets. So we have the ability to bring things to the fight other people cannot. Aliens create. Can you make a projected timeline for the next 12 months based on what you expect to happen? Great question. I love this question. I would assume we're going to give diplomacy a little bit more of a chance here. I would assume we are not going to strike. I know a lot of people think it's going to be this weekend. It could be this weekend. I don't know. I don't even think we need a 12-month timeline. It's going to look like this. Once the bombs start dropping, Maduro either surrenders, is killed, or is overthrown killed by the U.S., or is overthrown by his own generals, or is killed by the Cubans. Once that happens, you are going to see the Maduro regime collapse and implode immediately. You will then see the people of Venezuela, the good, great people of Venezuela, will rise up. They will. The people of Venezuela are well-educated, smart people. They know what freedom can be like. They know what they're not getting, and you will see them rise up and take freedom back. and take the future of their country back and make sure it cannot be stolen from. This whole thing could be over in a matter of months. At most, I'd say 6 months. At most. If we're still talking about this in May of 2026, my guess is it means something went wrong. All right. Here we go. Is there a possibility that Maduro would take to the jungle and initiate a Viet Cong style guerrilla warfare? Well, he probably might want, he's actually threatened to do that. He actually said, if we attack, this will be our new Vietnam. That is what he has claimed will happen. And I don't believe that for 1 second, because the reality of the situation is that his people are not going to die for him. He might have 1,000 or so loyalists who might be willing to fight the U.S. military. But once most of these people get a taste of what Tier 1 operators and United States Marines and the 82nd Airborne look like, they're gonna have zero interest in that. They don't want anything to do with that. We've got First Cav Vet 13B. Subscribe. Just joined. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I wonder what membership level you chose. The X-Bat and Fury are the beginning of CCAs. Yes. So those are the unmanned fighter jets, unmanned platforms that are going to, guys, we are going to get into a conflict with China. Almost certainly at some point in the future. And having those tools at our disposal are going to be a game changer. Thank you very much, First Cav Vet 13B, for signing up to become a member. I really, really appreciate it. All right, what else do we got here? Oh, this is funny. Tomorrow, maybe too late, $5. Whatever they do, they need to hurry. The playoffs are real close. Are we talking NFL playoffs or college football playoffs? Which one's too close for you? That comment makes me chuckle for sure. Yeah, well, I don't know if President Trump is worried about the NFL schedule. It would be that's a funny comment though. So I appreciate that. You guys are making it. You guys continue to make it fun. What are we all drinking tonight? Anyone enjoying a nice beer? Lots of oil and gold in Venezuela. And guess what? A lot of rare earth minerals. Guys, I'm not sitting here pretending that the resources don't play a role. One of the reasons we are going to do this is because we do not want China to get those resources. Why would we want our enemy to get those resources? Seriously. Let's be smart about this. Do we want our enemy to be in a better position? No, we don't. And so therefore, yeah, you're going to have to make some moves. We can't pretend like the resources don't play a role when those resources are going to our biggest enemies. We got Charles Bird 2412, new member to the channel. Thank you very much. Thank you we're going to start doing member only lives. We'll keep doing this one. We'll do a member only live as well to make sure. What did someone just say? Again, I had a bad fall. Yes. Thank you for noticing my eye. Look at the eyelid. That wasn't fun. I got a pretty significant concussion. I'm fine now, but I had a real nasty fall. It was brutal. And I was actually home alone. My fiance is on a different continent right now. Don't want to say which one for security reasons, but I was home alone and I actually did the dumbest thing possible. I went to bed, which for those of you who know anything about concussions, if you get a concussion, going to bed is about the dumbest thing you can do. It is about the dumbest thing you can do, but I was knocked the fuck out. So it is what it is. We got Ryan Dirk 9343, new member. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Love it. So they're saying you need mods. All right. Do you guys want me to lock up the comments to subscribers only? Is that what you guys want? I can do that. Let me see. What do we think? You guys let me know in the comments if you think we should just do subscribers. Yes? All right, we're going to see how this works. All right, you guys let me know if that's working better now. Maduro punched him in the eye. Maduro tried to, Maduro's like a big guy. I'm only 6 feet tall. I weigh $165. I'm not a big dude. I'm not an MMA fighter. So I don't know if Maduro and me got into a fist fight, what would happen. All right, I locked the comments up to just subscribers. I hope I didn't screw anything up while doing that. We've got a super sticker. Thank you very much. So you guys let me know. Let me know if that works. Is that better? Is everyone better now in the comments? Is everyone better? We've got just subscribers. Maybe we'll go back once the trolls chill out and decide that they're going to behave. We'll let everyone back into the comments. And hopefully that helps fix this situation. So it's working. You guys like it? All right. We got a new member on Vax Chad. I love you guys. You guys are the funniest people on the internet by far. All right. Big super chat, $20. Thank you for your good explanation about guerrilla warfare. I'm a veteran of the 11th Army Cavalry Regiment, Border Ops in the Fulda Gap, 1984, 1990. Your program is very much like a well-sourced briefing. That is one of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten. I want these to be fun. I want them to be informative. I want you guys to be interested in what we're talking about. I want you guys to be just as fired up as I am about what's going on. So if you guys see something you want me to cover, guys, my DMs are on the bottom of the screen. And you ask anyone who talks to me on my DMs, I'm constantly talking to people. So if there's something you want me to look into, please reach out to me. And it looks like the comments are doing much, much better. Look, guerrilla warfare can be brutal. And look no further than Vietnam for proof of that fact. Look no further than Vietnam for proof of that fact of how brutal guerrilla warfare can be. But you need people to fight it for you. If you're a leader and no one's willing to fight for you, and your army takes to the streets because they hate you and they don't want to die on your behalf, then what's going to happen? Your people are going to get steamrolled. Or when I say your people, I mean the regime. Guerrilla warfare is horrific at its worst. And if no one's willing to fight on your behalf, there's not going to be guerrilla warfare, right? So let's keep it. Thank you very much. Big super chat. We got a couple more. Thank you very much. New member. Love to see it. Jonathan, then Humphrey. New member, Benjamin Leckman, 2071. Guys, remember, you can find the join. I think actually, let me see here. I think right on the screen when you're watching the live, if you're watching on a computer, I don't really know where it would be there, but right next it says join, or you can go in, click the bio, and you can click it there. It says for exclusive perks and access. So go ahead, and if you're interested in getting in on the members only stuff, we're probably going to start that after Thanksgiving, because obviously I'm not going to do a live on Thanksgiving or that weekend because everyone's going to be gone. And if you don't want, and you just want to subscribe regularly and get all the free stuff, guys, I love that too. Every little bit helps. It's all important to me. I appreciate all of it. Get another new member, Gerald Ortega. Thank you very much. All right, let's take some more questions. What do you guys got for questions? How many fellow veterans are in the chat? I love this. Now, I'm not a veteran. Was never in the military. I want to make that crystal clear so that I don't get accused of anything. I am not a veteran. Never. Wait, hold on. Is this true? But if you're a veteran and you're in the chat, let us know in the chat if you are a veteran. I don't think this is true. Someone's saying something, but I think it's false. Yeah, I don't see any proof of that. Someone's saying something might have just happened in Venezuela. but I don't see any proof. No public reporting. I haven't gotten any text messages from anyone. None of my CIA handlers have told me. So that's a joke. That's a joke. Do we think we're trying to take Maduro alive? I really honestly don't. I don't know. That's Rob Stoops, $5. I don't know if we're trying to take him alive or not, to be honest with you. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because if you take him alive, you got to go through the trial. You do send the message to the world that, hey, we're fair here. We put people on trial, and that's good. You want people to believe in the system. If you just kill them, it makes the situation a lot simpler for a lot of reasons. Man, we got a lot of veterans in the chat. I'm just going to start throwing some of these up on the screen so we can give the veterans some shout outs here. We've got Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, Army. What we got just says fellow veteran. Again, I'm not a veteran. Don't claim to be. We got someone who served in Iraq at Camp Liberty. Thank you very much. Army, 25th Infantry, Vietnam. We got a Vietnam vet watching, guys. Give him a round of applause. Vietnam vets don't get nearly the respect they deserve, although I hope with enough time, as future generations learn more and more, they do get the respect they deserve. I had some family that fought in Vietnam. Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Rangers lead the way. So we got someone right here, retired soldier, is I Battalion Infantry. So this guy says Maduro's done. He had plenty of time to pack his bags. I actually kind of agree with that. We gave him every chance to leave. He didn't want to leave. We had a new member, Clint. Thank you very much. Another new member. We got a couple new members flowing in here. Another new member. Someone who served it. We got Navy, Malmstrom Air Force Base. Okay, so someone is saying their wife is in Venezuela. Nothing is happening. Yeah, I didn't see anything. So yeah, I don't have any reason to believe there are. Okay, so actually, let's talk about Russia briefly. Then we'll go back to Venezuela. I do want to throw this up on the screen for you. So there was a peace plan put together by the United States, the Ukrainians, and the Europeans. And according to the New York Post, put this up on the screen. The website here, it almost freezes your computer. I don't know what is going on there. All right. So the question is, if Russia can't pay its military, do you expect we'll see another wave of mass surrender from Russian troops? Well, I don't know, but the Russians are rejecting. It says Russia is set to reject the new 19-point ceasefire deal drafted by the U.S. and Ukraine, but may use disinformation tactics to keep. We got an ad. To keep President Trump engaged and continue talks, suggesting the war will last at least through Christmas. Sources told the Post on Tuesday. The White House has said it is working to secure a deal after the special presidential envoy, Steve Witkoff, developed a previously controversial 28-point plan. So the Russians are saying that they are not accepting the deal. They are rejecting the deal, and the war will continue. And I kind of made a point about this. I made a video about this earlier where I said, I think the Ukrainians and the Russians, I made a video about this literally today. The Ukrainians and the Americans and the Europeans, we can all have a deal together. But if Russia comes out and rejects it and says, we don't want a deal, we have no interest in a deal, then it doesn't really matter if we have a deal or not. The war is going to continue. So I got to get that off the screen because it is just killing the stream efficiency. If I was a little delayed there, I apologize. The New York Post website pretty much killed this screen. All right. So that's where we are. That's where we're at on the Russian war. I mean, Russia's oil and energy infrastructure has taken several serious hits. Serious hits. And that is starting to take a toll on the Putin war machine. At the same time, Ukraine has been devastated. And Russia continues to violate NATO airspace with drones and fighter jets. Let me know in the comments right now. Do you want to see Russian drones and fighter jets that violate NATO airspace shot down? Let me know in the comments right now. Should we shoot down Russian drones and Russian fighter jets that breach our NATO airspace, no matter where it is? Let me know in the comments right now how you want to see that handled. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Maduro held a big rally with, I'd say, maybe 50,000 teenage schoolboys marching to basically reject the U.S. invasion, try and look strong. He's not just trying to look strong. He's using them as human shields. Every time he goes out in public now, he surrounds himself with women and kids. Why? Because he knows the United States of America is not going to bomb him if it means we kill a bunch of civilians in the process. That's not who America is. We do not target civilians. We are the most moral military in the world. Now, do civilians sometimes die in war? Yes, obviously. It's tragic. You try to avoid it. You never want to do it on purpose. So he is taking advantage of the fact that he knows we will not hit him while he's surrounded by civilians. So here we go. Yeah, shouldn't even be a question. A lot of people in the chat are saying, yep, this is for shooting down the Russian fighter jets and drones. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Drones, yes. So maybe this guy doesn't think we should shoot down the fighter jets. Oh, great question. David, is there an update on the tanker that was intercepted trying to deliver that chemical to dilute the shitty oil in Venezuela? It has not made it. The U.S. has turned it around multiple times. It has not made it. The U.S. is not going to let that ship get to Venezuela. They've tried 3 times. They've actually tried 3 times, and I believe it's the USS Stockdale every time has stopped it from coming. And then it turns around, goes back up by Cuba. So it's stuck in the Caribbean right now because we're not letting it go to Venezuela. Someone says, is my fiance home? She is not. I addressed this briefly previously. She's not even in the country right now. So I'm on dog duty. Got some plans for Thanksgiving that I'm excited about. So Riptide, $5 says shooting down drones in NATO airspace risk escalation. So I would say it depends. I think you got to take the drones down no matter what. Maybe the argument is you can escort the fighter jets out. You don't have to kill their pilots, but drones, they know when they send the drones in, they're risking them being shot down. So this guy says, yes, drones and jets. What do we got here? Not going. Okay, Maduro is not going to go camping in a tent. How much less a jungle, especially with his gold toilet, too heavy. So he doesn't. Okay, yeah. Did you guys see this? Russia attacked Poland. They blew up. Some Russian agents went into Poland and blew up. And I'll put this on the screen for you. And blew up a Polish rail line that connected to Ukraine. This is the agency that did it. Let me get this on the screen for you. So the GRU, this is the agency they believe conducted the sabotage attack inside of Poland. And the people who did it got away, but it is true. Poland got hit by explosives on their train tracks. It's not even sources. The Polish government said it was the Russians. So that was a huge escalation. Huge. We've got Nathaniel Oliver saying if they enter NATO, we have to take a stand against it. Totally agree. Cannot let the Russians push us around. Oh, the Ginsu, what's it called? The Ginsu missile. So for those of you who don't know, we have a Hellfire missile where blades pop out There's no explosive charge on it. Blades pop out, and then there's no collateral damage. The problem is you still can't use that unless they're in a car, which is isolated, because one of the blades could hit kids around them. So they're not going to want to do that. They're not going to take any risks of hitting innocent civilians. That's just not going to happen. And the other thing, that he's in a bunker when he's not with his human shields. So if you're in a bunker, you really can't use it. All right, Jonathan Humphrey 3001. Looks like you're a member of the channel as well. Thank you very much. NATO all together needs to be active and not passive. Totally agree. Everyone needs to pull their weight. Everyone needs to pull their weight. Everyone needs to do their share. And the Polish, I love the Polish. The Polish don't just pull their fair share. They pull more than their fair share. More than it. So I love the Poles. In war, there's always collateral damage. So therefore, this people around Maduro shall not make no difference. That's true. There is collateral damage. Guys, we are the United States of America. We are not purposely going to carry out an operation that is going to put women and children at risk. That's not happening. That is not happening. Hold on. Your thoughts on ex-British SF members have threatened legal action against the British government regarding its legislation to deal with the legacy of the Northern Ireland Troubles. I don't know anything about that. I'm going to make a note of that, and I will look into it. If you want to explain more, feel free, but I'm not familiar with that whatsoever. I don't know anything about that at all. So also, I got to think if I should show this. I'm going to pivot real quick here. I'm going to show you some comments from, do we all know who Ilhan Omar is? Did you guys see this? I'm just going to play this clip. I'm not going to comment on it past that. And I want you guys to, comment on this. So Ilhan Omar said this. You guys let me know what you think about this.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
Well, that's interesting. So she says Somalians have always felt like they have been the fabric of America. But I'm pulling this up on the screen. Do we all remember this? Let me put this on the screen for you. So Ilhan Omar, who is only living in this country because of the generosity of the American public and the United States military that had to go to Somalia to stop the war there, and then the infamous Battle of Black Hawk Down. So she's got the audacity to talk like that, and then tweeted this. In his selective memory, he forgets to mention the thousands of Somalians killed by American forces that day. She's referring to the Battle of Mogadishu. What is she talking about? If it wasn't for the U.S. military, her ethnic clan in Somalia would have been wiped out. And 18 brave American heroes were killed in the Battle of Mogadishu, and 84 more were wounded. And instead of just keeping her mouth shut and saying thank you for the sacrifice and the bloodshed of the American service members, the Army Rangers and Delta Force guys who went over there, this is how she behaved. She essentially accuses them of being murderers. They weren't murderers. They were fighting for their lives. A couple hundred dudes against a city turned loose. So I saw that video and I could not believe it. And the Somalians got here post that war. And quite frankly, all that should ever be said about that is thank you, because without us, it would have been much, much worse. I just read that one. Why is NATO afraid of Russia? NATO is not afraid of Russia at all. Not even a little bit. We don't want to escalate, though. We don't want to start World War III if it can be avoided, because then in a conventional war against Russia, NATO wins 100 times out of 100, the war probably lasts 6 weeks. You're talking about a country with no ability to project air power against the most advanced air systems in the world. The U.S. military would dog walk Russia's in a conventional war. That is just a fact. It's strategic. They're making strategic decisions. All right. So this is about the SAF. Legal threat is in response to concerns that new bill will lead to more investigations of vets concerned. The new bill will negatively affect morale and ability of the SAS to recruit and retain soldiers. I'm against anything that hurts the SAS. The SAS has been with the United States every step of the way. They fight with our special forces, our special operations with Delta and SEAL Team 6. The SAS is a incredible unit. So if this bill is going to hurt the SAS, I'm against it. If that's what it is, it's going to hurt the SAS, I'm against it. Trump made big mistake by giving U.S. weapons to the Saudis. What the U.S. shall do is make the countries who want security, U.S. shall provide with a fee. So you think we should put our troops there and then force them to pay us instead of giving them the weapons? I think Palmer Luckey kind of said it best. He said, we need to be the world's gun store. We don't need to be the world's policeman. I'd be curious why you think giving them we've given F-35s to almost all our allies. We have exportable versions that go all over the world. So I don't know if that's a big deal. We've got new member, Joe Doe. Thank you very much. First Cav vet says Ilhan Omar is the problem with America currently. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Was not a fan at all. Do not like her one bit. And when she makes historically inaccurate comments or trashes the troops who fought in the Battle of Mogadishu, I got a big problem with that. I got a big problem with that. All right. We got World War III is coming anyway. I hope not. I certainly hope not. New to the membership because your information is the absolute best and 100% on point at every angle. Well, I'm sure. Thank you very much. Those are some incredibly kind words. I am sure that I will make some mistakes. When I make some mistakes, I will be sure to let you guys know about it, and I will try not to do it again. Give me one quick sec here. I try not, if I make a mistake, I will always try to correct myself. And, but that was a very nice compliment. Thank you very much. Does anyone remember Noriega? Things didn't work out for him. No, it didn't. Panama was a cakewalk. I know multiple guys that fought in Panama. I think they were all, well, 2 of them were Army Rangers at the time. One of them might have been in an infantry division, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they steamrolled Noriega. He had no chance whatsoever. No chance. Ooh, I made a video about this recently. Great question. Do you think China is coordinating with Russia on when they would invade Taiwan to create multiple front war? 1,000%. 1,000%. And the reports say that Russia is actually training Chinese paratroopers to help them learn how to do it. So yes, they absolutely are. No question about it. Got a couple new members here. Bill Malibu, thank you very much. And then Holy Fuga, you guys are going to get me in trouble with the names. Thank you very much. I'm so excited. And guys, one of the things that's cool about the memberships, even the lowest tier you can go, the cheapest one, if you comment on any video that I release during the day, I will go through. I will find every member comment. You can ask me any question you want. I will answer. You will get a response guaranteed. If you comment on any of the videos and you're a member, I have it set up so I can see all the member comments. Those are guaranteed to get responses. So I know that's not like the biggest thing. It's not as cool as like a members only live stream or members only chat, but it is something I'm excited about. What do we got here? Pull that down. Why is Trump taking his time? Trump's taking his time because he wants to give them as much time possible for a resolution that does not put U.S. troops at risk. That's just the honest truth. And that's good leadership. Just because we can rush in and go to war does not mean we shouldn't allow a negotiation to unfold, because I care about our service members and I don't want our service members to be put in danger if they don't have to. If there's another option, then that is worth looking into. Please tell me you are a cheesehead. Go Pack Go. Does that look like I'm a cheesehead to you? Detroit Lions all the way. I did grow up in Wisconsin. Got to be honest, growing up in Wisconsin, when the Packers were rocking and rolling and the Lions were absolutely terrible, not the best time to be a Lions fan. Dang it, I see the Lions helmet. There you go. Now you see it. All right, what do we got here? Trump does not project his plans. He could strike tomorrow. That is strategic. It's not just taking his time. Correct. That's very true as well. We saw that with the strikes in Iran. He just kept his mouth shut, kind of threw a bunch of stuff out there, didn't give away his real plan. And then when the time came, he obviously did what he did and got it rocking and rolling. So that is a very good point. I don't know what this means. I assume that meant Israel will pay the price. Saudis financing and paying Russia to provide intelligence info to target U.S. troops in Iraq. Why would the Saudis be targeting U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan? That I'm not sure I quite understand that. I don't think Saudi Arabia did that. Saudi Arabia, the actual leadership of the country is very dependent on the U.S. They're not going to be eager to turn against us. Should the seditious six be detained and questioned to make a point? Hold on. Can I show this video? Let me see if I can find this video. Because if you guys haven't seen this, let me see. Give me a second. I want to make sure I get the right one. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know if I can find it, but a bunch of Democrats, 6 Democrats, released a video essentially arguing that you should. Oh, I found it. Okay, let's watch this. Let me put this up on the screen. So a bunch of Democrats made a video that the troops should disobey unlawful orders. Didn't define what unlawful orders were. I'm going to speed this up so that we don't have to sit here through the whole thing.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army.
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution, and
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Okay. My gosh. 6 jackasses in a video. What other way you want to say it? Whoops. I think I accidentally knocked myself off the screen there. Listen, if you're going to make a video telling troops to disobey unlawful orders, which, by the way, to all the veterans in the chat, you would know way better than I was because I was never in the military. Can we get some people in the chat who could explain what that means, like what actual unlawful orders are? Here was my problem with this video. They make this self-righteous video and then don't tell us what these unlawful orders are. What are these unlawful orders? What orders has Trump issued that are unlawful? Don't just say that. Give us some examples. Be very specific. If you're going to make a video like this, be as specific as possible. Instead, you go out there and cause all these problems and all this drama, and you don't tell us what it is that the problem is. So I am very curious. Can anyone tell me in the comments what a good example of unlawful orders would be? Which, keep in mind, none of these people mentioned. They just made this video telling troops to not listen to the president. Okay, here we go. Unlawful orders are those orders which directly violate the UCMJ and the Geneva Convention rules of warfare. Trump has issued no such orders. So there you go. Then if you want to make a video like that, telling people to disobey orders, give us the examples. What orders has Trump given that violated the UCMJ? What orders did Trump give that violated the Geneva Convention? Let us know. Let the people know. Do you realize how many lawyers it takes to? I believe the people who were on the Osama bin Laden raid said there were dozens of lawyers that had to be briefed and had to talk to them. Like, the military has a ton of hoops to jump through for this exact reason. Jonathan Humphrey, I believe Venezuela is more about Russian ties and influence than it is drugs. However, the drugs were the easiest way to go after the regime. It's got a lot to do with Russia and China. And I talked about that earlier in the show. I don't know if you saw that. This is our hemisphere. We live here. We cannot let our adversaries on the other side of the globe have a launching point in our hemisphere. We would be the dumbest people on the planet if we did that. If we let the Chinese and the Russians have a launching pad in our hemisphere, we would be insanely stupid. So yes, we are going to get rid of them. That is the fact of the matter. And it has a lot to do with that. So you are 1000% correct. Big super chat, $10, taking this time because he's letting the Russians kill themselves. Also, Russia and China aren't conspiring anything because the Russians can barely conspire to beat a ragtag bunch of drone fighters. Yeah, well, no, they are struggling. The Russians are struggling. It's been embarrassing. We were told for so long how powerful the Russian military was, and it was going to overthrow the world. And then they can't even overthrow Ukraine without even, there's no direct NATO troops on the ground, and they still can't do it. I would push back a little bit on the idea that they don't conspire. They do military training together. They do some war exercises together, but the Russian and the Chinese are not natural friends at all. Not even a little bit. So something to keep in mind, just something to keep in mind, that they do work together, but push comes to shove. If it benefited one more than the other to, stab the other one in the back, they would do it in a heartbeat without even hesitating to do so. All right, what else we got here? Oh, I just saw a great question. I got to find it. What would the U.S. do if Russia nuked Ukraine? I think the plan was, I think we actually drew up a plan. And the plan was, if Russia nuked Ukraine, we were going to sink every ship in the Russian Navy. We weren't going to nuke them back, but we were going to sink every ship in the Russian Navy. Now, would that result in us getting nuked? I don't know. By the way, did any of you see the movie House of Dynamite? If you did, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I enjoyed the movie. I know a lot of people didn't. But okay, we got a good one here. $5, Riptide. I know they are drug boats. Retired operations specialist. Spent the last 5 years before retiring looking at these boats with ISR. No doubt. Oh my gosh. Guys, look at this. Look at this. Let me see if I can find this. I want to make sure I got the right one here. Got to make sure I got the right strike video, because there's one of these strike videos where it is so obvious that they've got drugs in the boat. It's not even funny. But I don't remember which one it is. Oh, it's this one right here. I found it. Hang tight. All right. I'm going to share this with you guys. Do we all see what's in the front of that boat? Do we all see all the white packaging? All the massive white packaging? Do we all see that? What do we think that is? What do we think those massive bundles of white stuff are? Do we think it's anything other than drugs? Looks like I just had to get rid of someone. Don't do anything stupid, folks. All right. What else do we got? Hit me with your questions. I'll keep going for a little bit here. This has been a blast. I'm not going to end this soon. By the way, I did want to show you guys a Sean Ryan clip. Do we know who Sean Ryan is? Let me play this for you. Let me get it teed up, make sure it's ready to go. Hold on. All right. Do you guys like Sean Ryan? Oops, I got a lost. Let me make sure I can get this up for you. Do you guys like Sean Ryan? All right. So Sean Ryan, I actually made a video about this months ago. Sean Ryan revealed what I revealed several months ago about a crackdown on tier 1 operators giving interviews. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of what I was told. I do not know the current leader of Delta Force. Don't know him. Never spoken to him. I doubt he would speak to me. I do not know the senior enlisted guy at all. Don't know him. Never spoken to him. My guess is that he would not speak to me. But behind the scenes, there have been massive crackdowns on interviews, significant crackdowns. Sean Ryan actually discussed this on a recent episode of his. I want you guys to watch this and tell me what you think. We'll get into it after I show it to you.
Couple weeks ago we had but you know, it's the shit. It's Dallas Alexander. I mean, a couple weeks ago we had a couple of Delta guys reach out wanting their episode pulled because Delta made a statement basically scaring the shit out of all their guys. Oh, you can't go on here, we're gonna fucking come after you legally. And I had to tell them I'm fucking tired of playing this game. Yeah. I am fucking tired of this shit of playing this game, and they're freaking these guys out. They're not allowed to talk about, they think they're not allowed to talk about their own fucking life, you know, and I'm not pulling it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not playing these stupid fucking games. And so it's, you know, it's Chris Fettis.
So what he is talking about there, what Sean Ryan is talking about, is the fact that tier 1 operators are being told, do not do interviews ever, even if you're retired for 10, 15 years. What do you guys think about that? Do you think guys in Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 should be allowed to do interviews long after they're out? Not when they're in, obviously. You can't be doing them when you're in because there's too much operational security. But do you think that tier 1 operators, Delta Force, you guys know a bunch of my buddies are in Delta or were in Delta. Great, great dudes. What do you think? I want to see what your comments are. What do you guys think? Says our legal system is broken. Army vet here. Hell yeah. Sean Ryan is awesome. Sean Ryan fighting back against it, though Sean Ryan didn't take down his clips. What do we got? Sometimes you have to be quiet. ComSec, only non-classified themes. They should be free to do interviews. Yes, to a point. I think those with clearances should be careful. I don't have a problem with them warning them. No interviews from this guy. Depends on what they're talking about. too hard to police. Much of the stuff they do is risky, classified. You don't want to hurt the guys behind you. Have I ever read the NDA a tier 1 guy has to sign? No, I have not. I was never a tier 1 guy. Was never in the military period. So careful when discussing ops. So I'll give you guys my opinion on this. And then books should be reviewed, but the system needs to be fixed. I assume you're talking about Matt Bissonnette. Yeah, Matt Bissonnette got screwed. Matt Bissonnette, if you watch his Sean Ryan interview, that dude got screwed by the U.S. government. Tier 1 operators know what to say, what not to say. Let them talk. Brent Tucker is as real as it gets. Semper Fi Brent. Dude, Brent is awesome. Brent is a perfect example of what you want in a tier 1 operator and what you want in just a regular American dude. Brent is great. So it seems like a lot of you guys think they should be allowed to talk. Let's see what we think. I think if it has anything to do with safety or reliability on ops, then I assume you meant to say no. Tier 1 operators hold top secret security clearances. That being said, after 20 years, that should end. So I'll give you my opinion. And you guys tell me if you think I'm right or wrong on this Sean Ryan clip. If they're not giving up TTPs, if they're not giving up any operational tactics, techniques, procedures, they're not saying other people's names publicly who don't want to be named. Some people don't care about being named. As long as they're not doing anything to jeopardize security, I think they should be allowed to talk. I think they earn that right. Tier 1 operators have shed a lot of blood. They've seen brutal combat. I don't think it's fair that they have to be told to keep it to themselves forever. I also think that some incredible people, some incredible veterans, and I'm not going to name them here because I don't know if they'd want to be named or not. And I don't like talking about people without their permission. Tier 1 operators have saved the lives of other veterans by sharing their stories and sharing their stories of struggling and getting by it and doing better on the other end. So that is important. And if your story can save one person's life, then you should tell. Now, don't give up state secrets. Don't give up, TSSCI classified information, obviously. Don't help the enemy. But I don't have an issue with it, to be quite honest with you, whatsoever. As long as they're being smart about it and it's coming from a place of respect, selflessness. I hate these arrogant sons of bitches who, I killed 10,000 people. I killed 50,000 people one night. And then you look up their service record and you find out they likely never even fired their weapon. The Dems are corrupted by the CCP. They are orchestrating to establish Venezuela as a proxy against the U.S. Do you remember that Russia supposedly dropped off missiles to Venezuela a year or two ago? Well, yeah, Russia definitely gave them defense missiles. No question about that. I don't think anyone doubts that whatsoever. Russia and Venezuela are very close. Pitt thinks the foreign foes are learning USA tactics from former special ops, because when they talk about what they did, they expose the U.S. tactics. Listen, yeah, I would, if I was a tier 1 operator, I would not get on a podcast and say, here's exactly how here's our exact CQB tactics. Let me teach you exactly how we breach doing combat clearance. Let me teach you how we do dynamic or deliberate hostage rescue versus slow and methodical. You can talk about those things without actually revealing how you do them, but I understand that for sure. Thank you for becoming a new member, PVT Pelnar. Joe Doe F9R, just $1 for the hell of it. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not sure I get this. You're saying because are you saying because I want the interview? I can interview these guys whenever I want. I've interviewed many of these guys. So I don't have any skin in the game. What do we got here? Guys who brag about what they've done don't have much credibility. Most veterans are not going to want to talk about what they've done. So what are they talking about? Stuff they're not supposed to. Well, there's some very famous cases of people who were caught lying. And I think you will see more people come out who've been caught lying. And so if you came in late, Joey 207, the unexpected death threat, the Cubans are threatening to kill Maduro if he steps down. So that was the unexpected. Now we might take him out if he stays. The Cubans might take him out if he goes. So he's got no good options whatsoever. What else you guys got here? Someone's talking about DJ Shipley. Have never met DJ Shipley before. I'm sure he's a nice guy. What else we got here? All right, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Do you have the popcorn ready? Popcorn for when we strike? If we strike during an hour where I'm awake, so let's assume it's not 3 a.m., I will be going live immediately. We will watch it together. We will watch the strikes on Venezuela together. And yes, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Trump, believe it or not, didn't call me. I don't know what this guy's saying. That's why I do. I got to be careful there. It's all about international liability because of mission sensitivities can be exposed to legal liability with international law and co-ops with others. I wouldn't be worried about that. We're not going to be worried about what our remember, these guys have lawyers. The military has lawyers before these high-profile missions. I would not be too worried about that. All right, guys, I think I'm going to do about 15 minutes more. So we're just going to do rapid-fire Q&A the rest of the way. I think I showed you everything I wanted to show you. But you want to know something? I like this. I'm going to actually show this to you guys. I'm going to show this to you guys. This came from let me see if I can find it. Stick with me here. I want to see if I can get it. So Brent Tucker. Okay, come on. All right, here's what we're going to do. Stick with me. Don't go anywhere. I've got something cool to show you. So, by the way, did you all see Brent Tucker interviewed Kyle Morgan, or a interview with Kyle Morgan is coming up? So for everyone who likes to talk about my sources and that what my sources are, let's watch what Brent Tucker had to say about my sources.
Let me tell you, David Hookstead has connections into the special operations world that I would say rival mine. And I'm just, not to be got friends loud about it. Yeah. But to get my connections, I had to go a lot of places to do a lot of things. David Hookstead can get to the bottom and can pick up a phone and call just about anyone in the special operations community within a call or two. And David Hookstead came to the same conclusion, not based off experience and connections like me, because he doesn't have the experience, but he has the connections. And it's not like, 50% of the people I talk to kind of side with Rob's story that he was the lone shooter, the guy who did it all. And the other 50% that were there say.
So that is Brent Tucker right there. I take great pride in my military reporting. I take great pride in my military reporting. And I've spent years trying to do what I do. And so when I work my sources and I look for information, and by the way, guys, these are some of the nicest humans on the planet. They're nothing like the Hollywood movies. They're not like, I'm sure there's guys in the military like that. That is not at all how those dudes are in real life. Like, they are down to earth, patriotic, good Americans, insanely intelligent. The intelligence of a tier 1 operator would shock you. All right. So what else we got on Venezuela? We got Trinidad is watching. Love the good people of Trinidad and Tobago. If I ever go to Trinidad and Tobago, I hope you guys stay safe if this kicks off. I really hope you do. If I ever go, maybe some of the viewers from Trinidad and Tobago will have to reach out, and you can help me out. Had the pleasure to work with both Delta and SEAL Team 5 in Iraq. Every dude was cool as F that I met. Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. Why do the Cubans want to kill Maduro? They want to terrify Maduro into staying in power so that they can keep getting their oil from Venezuela for essentially free, and Venezuelan oil can continue to prop up Cuba. So they have made it clear to Maduro, reportedly, according to Axios, if you leave, we will kill you. So don't even think about running away. You're in it for the long haul, buddy. You are in it for the long haul. You're staying. You're in it with the fight. And so Maduro, literally, no matter what way he goes, it is over for him. All right. I think I just missed something. I'm from Texas and I have to follow the Cowboys, but I'm also an avid Lions fan. Thank you very much for watching. I wish the Lions were having a slightly better season, but you know what? Big win. Okay, I got to keep answering this. What happened to my eye? I tripped over something. I smacked my head. Not great. I'll show it again. That's the top of my eyelid. And I pretty much knocked myself out. Not fun. This is true. There's a NOTAM issued for all of Venezuela. That means that we're telling everyone, hey, the airspace is going to get very dangerous over Venezuela. You should try to avoid it. Do not go there. Do not get involved with what's going on in Venezuela because it's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly. David got into an epic bar fight. I wish. That would have been way cooler than what actually happened. Do I think it'll be a nighttime strike? Absolutely. Absolutely. No point in going in the day. We have all the tech. We have all the stealth tech. We have all the technology. You might as well go at night. Looks like the Cubans are calling the shots on Venezuela. Yeah, Cuba has very close ties to Venezuela. They have military advisors down there. They have intel advisors down there. And they are going to try to squeeze Maduro into making sure he cannot leave. So glad I joined your channel. This is great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is correct. Cuba provides security for Maduro and military generals. All of Maduro's closest bodyguards are all Cuban. All of them. Because they don't trust the people around him to not his own people. They don't trust his own people. So he's provided with Cuban bodyguards. Are American Special Forces similar to the Aussie SAS? Yeah, your Aussie SAS is the equivalent. It's like our Delta Force SEAL Team 6. It's not as good, but it's similar. It's your Tier 1 element. It's modeled directly off the UK SAS. How often am I streaming? I'm streaming Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. And I'm going to start doing a members-only live stream here soon at some point after Thanksgiving. Again, I'll repeat it for you who are just joining. We launched 2 membership tiers. I kept both of them incredibly cheap. In the description of this video, you can find a link to the membership tiers. The second tier gets you into the members-only live stream. The lower tier gets you members-only chats. Both tiers, any comment at all that you put on one of my regular videos, I will go through and answer every comment question you have. That's probably the biggest benefit of joining, honestly. But I'm very much looking forward to the member streams. Yeah, I punched the floor with my face and the floor punched back. This right here is the fear that the Cubans have. The Cubans are worried that if Maduro goes, they're next because their access to cheap Venezuelan resources is gone. And if their access to cheap Venezuelan resources is gone, then they fall. So yes, they are. Is Cuba still a Russian proxy? Not in the way it used to be, but still very closely aligned. Russian spy ships actually dock in Cuba to spy on America. That is accurate. So they're not like it was during the days of the Soviet Union, but it is still very much, very closely aligned. All right, we got a little more time. Keep sending me what you got. What about Mexico? What are we going to do with Mexico? I think the Mexican government is going to agree to let the U.S. military come in, and we're going to hit targets down in Mexico. Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, but we're going to be very quiet about it. We're not going to make a big show about it. We're not going to broadcast it because we don't want to rock the boat with the official government, but we absolutely 100% will be operating in Mexico at some point. In fact, some reports say we already are. All right. What about the cartels here in the U.S.? They pose a huge threat. Correct. And we should arrest them and throw their asses in prison and make sure we lose the key in the process and that they're never, ever, ever, ever let out again to harm our people. I want to be very serious here. If you are a drug dealer in this country and you poison your own community, I think you should be sentenced to life in prison at a minimum. Now, I'm not talking about someone who had a little bit of marijuana on them. That's not what I'm talking about. If you are a hardcore drug pusher, hardcore drugs, they should kick in your front door, drag you out in handcuffs, march you into your trial, get a fair trial, give them a fair appeal process. But if they're dealing drugs, right to maximum security prison. Right to maximum security prison. And you're walking in and you're never coming out. And that's how I honestly feel. My hometown has had issues with drugs, people whose lives have been ravaged by drugs. And if it were up to me, where I come from, if I was in charge and I was making the laws, every single piece of fucking shit who played any role in that would be put in handcuffs, charged under the maximum extent of the law, marched into a courtroom, given a fair trial, and then get life in prison. All right. Ryan, $20, big super chat. Appreciate the $20. Yeah, guys, just so you know, this does cost money for me to do. So I appreciate every dollar. I appreciate all the people that are becoming new members. Keep doing a great job, David. Thank you very much, guys. This is fun because you guys make it fun. If it was just me talking into a camera, I don't know if it would be as fun, but you guys make it a blast. What else we got here? This guy's saying go after Colombia. I don't think we're going to I don't see us going after Colombia. Oh, someone is saying they're from Vance hometown, was born with 6 siblings and 3 parents and only me and my son. Does that mean they're the only ones left? You guys are the only ones left? That's tragic if that's what that means. It would be funnier with Maduro in some handcuffs. Well, that's what we did to Noriega, and it was absolutely hilarious. What are some great open source X accounts to follow behind Ozent Defender? MT Anderson is amazing. MT Anderson is incredible. I rely on that guy for a ton. There's Ozent Technical. This one's good if you're interested in the war in I'm just going to drop the Twitter handle in here. This one's good for stuff with the war. The one I just dropped in with the war in Ukraine. All right, what else we got? Send them to CCOT. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. I've been watching your videos for a good while and finally became a member. I appreciate that. That means a lot. So we got some people saying we got to go after Cuba. Good question. Does FBI Director Kash Patel have the cartels in the U.S. handled? Listen, President Trump has made it clear he's not going to tolerate crime. He's not going to tolerate these scumbags. I think that you are going to see people get locked up for sure. And I think they're doing a good job. I'm not the biggest Kash Patel fan. I think he takes the job. I don't think he understands the stakes of it. But, you know, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just don't know if he's doing as well as he could be. I'll leave it at that. I think he botched a lot with the Charlie Kirk stuff in terms of messaging, just in terms of the talking, whatever. It's just, he's got to learn. Hooked on Hookstead. Should we make some shirts that say Hooked on Hookstead? This guy says, Kevin, night vision is an advantage. I'd say they likely have some, but I'd say it doesn't compare. Well, we've got the panos. We've got the cool panos and like the latest stuff, allegedly. I've never tried it. Like you can see through walls and shit. Like that's epic. Like that's incredible. Being able to drop your nods and see heat signatures through a wall. If I ever get the chance to buy night vision goggles, even if they're not a good one, I'm definitely doing it. I'm definitely doing it. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? Make the shirt. Make the Hooked on Hookstead shirt. Does my fiance know what you did to your eye? Yeah, I texted her again. She's not in the country. She hasn't been in the country for a little bit now. I'm not able to disclose where she is. It's nothing crazy. She's not in like Syria or something, but for security reasons, I can't get into where she is, but she's not close. She's far out of the country. I did text her and I actually said, I hit my head real bad, hit my face real bad. I don't really, I'm not going to go to the hospital yet because I don't have like the worst concussion grade symptoms, but do me a favor and just contact me every few hours, make sure I'm responding. And so she knows. She roasted me a little bit. So you know what? Sometimes it's good to get roasted. This person says, I'm not crazy about Kash Patel or Pam Bondi. I've praised both of them at times, and I have also said that they've both made mistakes. Will Cuba go down when Maduro goes down? It is very possible, and that is what they are so worried about. What do I think's in store for Trinidad? I think Trinidad's going to be fine. I don't think Maduro is going to be focused on Trinidad and Tobago as the regime collapses. I think he's going to have plenty of his own problems to worry about as that's happening. And yeah, I'm not worried about if you're in Trinidad. I think you're going to be just fine. I'm praying for you guys. We're there to help you. We are there to help you. All right. What do we got here? Guys, these comments are coming in fast. I'm trying to find them. All right, keep the comments coming. I'll do just a couple more minutes. All right, I appreciate the fact everyone's having fun with this. David, you hit your head, got a black eye while she's out of the country. Wink your black eye if you're in danger. I don't even think I can wink with this eye. I think I wink with yeah, it's this one. If I'm going to wink, I do it with this one. I actually can't do it with this one, even if it didn't have a black eye. So yeah, no. Like I said, she had some jokes at my expense. I'm pretty sure a couple of my other friends have some funny things to say, and the fact of the matter is, if you saw how it happened, you would be like, how did you possibly allow that to happen? And yet it did. I see everyone is debating night vision now in the comments. You guys know more about am I in danger? No, I'm definitely not in danger. Should I be? Is there something you guys know that I don't? Oh, this is great. Tim Kennedy got him. That would actually be that would be hilarious. That would be funny. Not true at all. Let's be clear about that. But it would be funny. So this guy used to dream in his night vision goggles. Last question about Maduro. Does his son try to take power after he is arrested or taken or captured? No. Nobody from the Maduro regime will be trying to take power after he's overthrown. That much I can guarantee you. Watching from Trinidad, following all your updates. I hope this whole thing kicks off and ends quickly. We want it to end quickly too. If any of you guys got final super chats, now's the time to send them in. I got a couple minutes left. Then I got to take the dog out, and then I'm probably heading to bed shortly thereafter that. So we got to get the dog out. Venezuela had a vice president. Yeah, Delcy Rodriguez. She was whisked away in an 18-vehicle motorcade and is disappeared to an unknown location. We do not know where the vice president is. She will also not be part of the regime, the post-regime plans at all. That much I can promise you. Delcy Rodriguez is in hiding, apparently. This guy says, shout out to my Riptide, shout out to my retired veterans and not retired veterans. Again, never served, but I do appreciate everyone who did, especially those who are in here watching this. You guys continue to absolutely crush it. On a serious note, David, thank you for all the work and time you put in this. My whole family appreciates what you do. Well, thank you very much. Those are the comments that I love hearing. It's good to know you guys care. It's good to know you guys watch. I do this just because I love it. I love the topics, and mostly I love talking with you guys. You guys are the coolest people, the coolest audience on the planet. All right, what do we got? So if I were to buy night vision, now keep in mind, I don't, I'm not exactly a big spender. I don't spend a lot of money. If I was to buy night vision, can someone tell me in the comments what type of night vision I should get? And I assume I got to get a helmet too, right? So tell me the kind of helmet, tell me the night vision, and then maybe one of these days we'll do a show and I'll do the whole show in night vision. Someone's saying thermal, but I need to know more than thermal. So someone's saying PVS 31. PVS 31. How much are those? Not cheap. 13 grand. It's pretty expensive, gentlemen. That's pretty expensive. I'm going to need some more super chats if I'm going to be buying I'm going to be buying $13,000 night vision goggles. I love this super chat. USA flag, hell yeah. Island of Dr. Maru, 8191. Thank you very much. All right, affordable. Let's look this up. PVS 15 night vision. What do those cost? What's the cost of those? 12 and a half? Still pretty expensive. You should have. I'm obviously going to ask my boys in tier 1 what they would recommend, seeing as how they have had to use them to actually, fight people. Not that I ever plan on doing that, but they would know. All right, I'm going to set a timer. We're going to do 5 more minutes. This is your rapid question time. Anything on your mind, doesn't matter what it is. You guys let me know. I will answer any and all questions. 5 minutes. Clock starts now. So PVS 14, 3 white phosphorus. My son's nods cost 15 grand. Are we in Guyana safe, David? Yeah, I think you guys are fine. I think you guys will be fine. I don't see Maduro launching at like every country in the region. That would be, the consequences of that for his regime would be catastrophic. Catastrophic. Do I like leather patch hats? I like the kind of hat I'm wearing now, which is it's got, I don't know if that's leather or rubber. It is great. I like hats like this. I love favorite adult beverage. It's got to be Coors Banquet or Miller Lite. I am a sucker for a good margarita, though. An absolute sucker for a good margarita. So again, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the membership option. See if there's something you like there. We're going to roll that out over the next few weeks. So to all the new members, it's not going to happen this week right away or early next week because we got Thanksgiving. We got all this stuff. We're in the holiday season, but it will be coming. We are going to have some really cool stuff. And I want as many people to be along for the ride. We've got a new member right here. Robert Miralibo, 5356. I don't know what that is. Look up the TNVC night vision. Oh, it's a night vision store. You're saying they've got some cheaper options. What do they got? So they got some for 6,000. They got some for as high as 50,000. Well, I'm not doing that. Snapback or stretch fit? It's a snapback. I'm a good sucker for an IPA. I hate IPAs, but to each their own. Southern Comfort, Dr. Pepper, Jack, and Coke. This guy's saying don't go cheap on nods. So you're saying it's worth it one time? Well, look, if I had an extra $15,000 floating around, I wouldn't care. But I got a wedding coming up, folks, that I got to pay for. So I don't know if I would love to. Okay, here we go. We'll pause the timer. You guys in the chat who are married, you tell me what you think would happen if I came home one day with a wedding that I have to pay for coming up here. And I came home one day and I said, guess what, fiance, my beautiful, gorgeous fiance, I just spent $15,000 on night vision goggles. And I turn all the lights off, snap them on. I turn the breaker box off so you can't even turn the lights back on, bolt lock it shut. So we're all dark. And I just say, hey, look, nods come down, and I just tell her, 15 grand. I just spent these. Yeah, I know we got a wedding coming up, but I needed these. And now I can see in the dark. And she's going to be like, well, what the hell? We need 15. Where'd the $15,000 go? It's like, yeah, but now I can see in the dark. She won't be able to see in the dark because I'm not going to be able to afford two pairs. And I lock the electrical box to make sure she can't turn the lights back on. How do we think that conversation would go? How do we think that conversation is going to go with my fiance? I might have a second black eye. I might come on here. I'll have both eyes blacked out. And to be clear, because some idiot's going to clip this and claim that I claimed this one was from her. It was not. Okay. I love it. Yeah. Another black eye. You would be single. Yeah, probably. No happy wife, no happy life. Marry the goggles. LOL, no guessing unnecessary. LOL. If she loves you, she will stay with you. Well, now I also have the ability to see in the dark. She can't, if she's going to think to herself, well, what if something happens? I need to see in the dark because the lights can't get turned back on. Well, he's like, I got to stay with him. He's got the night vision goggles. So she would be short-sighted. She wouldn't understand why the goggles were important, but I think she'd warm up to it. No wedding. Kid out for your wedding. All the groomsmen wear the good stuff. That is a genius idea. I should go to my fiance and tell her, we're going to wear night vision goggles, plate carriers. We're going to be in full combat. We're going to reenact the Osama bin Laden raid. We're going to go through the UBL raid. When the groomsmen come in for the reception, we're going to breach the door. Point man comes in. I obviously have to be the point man because I'm the hero. And we have someone dress up like UBL. We just boom, drop them. That would be epic. You guys are jogging my match. She'd punch your other eye. Another black eye. You look like Maduro in a week. Happy wedding day in advance. Thank you very much. Got a nice super chat here. Stay safe out there, bro. Keep your head up. Thank you very much. Bro. Oh, yeah. You think she'd go spend $15,000 on something? That's probably what she would do. $5. Need a Bears helmet in the background. That is never going to happen, but I appreciate the super chat. The Bears are having a hell of a season, man. I don't know where they came from. They came out of nowhere, but they are having a great season. Play in the woods by yourself with the goggles. No wife, but you keep the goggles. I love this. This is so funny. Don't text fate. I assume you meant test fate. Both eyes out, then you for sure a black ops. You will be winking, I need help. You guys are the funniest people on YouTube. No, Maduro is obviously not gone yet. Yeah, is Maduro going to end up in Russia with Assad? That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe. Love your channel, David. Thank you very much. Another $1. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No message, just sent $1. Yeah, dude. Okay. I might actually have to show up to the wedding in night vision goggles. You've put the idea in my mind, and you've put the you can now I can't get it out of my head. Like, how am I not going to do this now? I feel like I have to, but you know what? We are closing down here. You guys have been amazing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. When are you dropping the Bin Laden debrief recording, Dave? I want to be very careful. If such recording were to exist, and if such a recording were to exist and was going to be made public, a lot of legal review would have to happen first. Voices would have to be changed. That's not as easy. That is not as easy as me getting on screen. Do you guys have any idea what would happen if hypothetically, I just got on YouTube and played that recording? The CIA, this is not a joke. Hypothetically, if such a tape existed, the CIA would be at my front door within 10 minutes. The video would be gone from YouTube. My YouTube channel would be nuked immediately. You would never see me again. And yeah, so listen, I don't want to get into that tape too much right now. Or what is on it, or what is not on it, or where, or whatever. It's not relevant right now. There's a lot of moving pieces. You cannot play something like that on a YouTube live stream. You just can't without altering people's voices, call signs. But I will tell you, people are already trying to get ahead of it, and I'll leave that at that. And that tape, we said, you won't have to worry about raising bail. I might just disappear. I might you release something like that stupidly without taking security reasons. That's all I can say about that. So I tell you what, guys, thank you very much for being here. You guys are the greatest people on YouTube. I love you all. You make this the most fun thing. This is the highlight of my week every day. Make sure to come back. We'll have more videos. We're going to keep doing these on Tuesdays. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep having fun. So thank you very much. You guys are epic. You guys are awesome. You guys make this worth doing. I think this is a cool comment to put on the screen as we head out. We'll do the salute. We got the salute, the American flag. So people are saying I got to sell a shirt with my black eye on. I like that. All right, guys, I'm heading out. Thank you very much. You guys crushed it yet again. Next Tuesday, we'll be doing this again. Make sure to sign up for a membership if you can. You get some really cool benefits, and I will respond to any question you have on all the other videos. So thank you very much. You guys have a great day.